It's a great delight to stand before this amazing audience to do what I basically like to do most, which is talking to parents and giving them simple tools to transform the parenting journey. Like those who spoke before me had said, it's a continuous journey. There is no, end or yes, I have arrived. We keep on learning and challenging ourselves on the journey so that we can have a successful destination. I say it's not about holding on to our phones and trying to record the sessions and all of those. I remember I was at an event and I tried to do just what you were doing, and to my utter amazement, as I tried to capture the moment on my phone, I got a message, internal memory full. I know when you get the message, you know what that means? It's either you're fast enough to delete something or that moment passes by and you lose it forever. Or you switch over immediately and you capture it with your heart and eyes, and then you can reminisce it over it as times pass. So, everything is a feedback, and when my phone told me internal memory full, it definitely was sending a message to me. And what was that message? I needed to take action. What action? I could decide to delete some items, get an extra memory card or something. Now, do we realize that the state of the Ummah, the behavioral pattern we're getting in our children, and everything is a feedback for us? And as the saying goes, there is no failure. Everything is a feedback. How are we utilizing that feedback? Are we seeing those feedbacks as important information to understand what's going on with our children, so that we can prefer and weigh the options they have, the next line of action, so that together we can move them forward? How exactly do we take those feedbacks? We need to be deliberate in our parenting. We cannot fail as a failure, as a parent. And when we get those feedback, we need to take action. And one of the easiest ways to take action is to ensure that we have rapport. We connect with our children. Most homes, we know how it runs. We know how some of us were brought up. It's like information, A, B, C. Everything is all well laid down. There is no connection. And what happens? The moment you're out of the home setting, you are somebody else entirely. I remember that as a growing-up kid, I had some neighbors, and each time their father traveled, the only thing they said to us as we were playing was, I wish you would die and not come back home. Yes. The man is still alive anyway, and I wonder if those kids remember that. So you can imagine what is going on in that home. Our children are not perfect, neither are we perfect. But yet, do we realize that as parents, Allah has made us powerful in the eyes of our parents, of our children? Children learn through a lot of intensification, attention, and focus. If you have a human infant and you take the infant to the jungle and leave the infant there for like 5 years and you come back, do you think that infant is going to grow up knowing how to talk like you and I, or sit or do anything? It's not going to be more different from the hyenas and the chimpanzees and the tigers and cheetahs in the jungle. So what information does that give us? Our children look up to us as a model. They learn everything from us. So whatever we see in our children today is a kind of projection of who we actually are. So what are we saying? If it's something we like, alhamdulillah. If we see so many more rooms for improvement, then what can we do about it? Like some of the earlier speakers have said, we need to challenge ourselves and seek useful and beneficial information on how to raise our children. I remember a few days ago, I was trying to wake my 8-year-old for Fajr. And, she wasn't cooperating. So I said to her, who is your role model? And she said, Zaki. I said, okay, what do you think Zaki will do right now? And in that moment, it was like she connected to something, and it was easier for her to get off the bed, go and brush her teeth, make wudu, and get ready for Salah. The Prophet ﷺ said, he said, he who has a child should do what? Be like a child. And when he had a son and Hussein, the Prophet ﷺ, the Nabi, the messenger, the leader of the Ummah, the leader of all of us in Jannah, he will go on all fours and he will say what? He will say, I am the best, you're the best of riders and I am the best of horses. Who was he referring to as the best of riders? His grandchildren, Hassan and Hussein. Now, who was the best of horses? He is the messenger of Allah Sallallahu. He was that lenient with them. He was that friendly with them. He connected with them. In Salah, he will go on sujood and Hassan and Hussein will climb over him. And what will he do? He will wait. And one day his companions came up to him and they were like, we thought you were receiving revelation. He said, no. Hassan and Hussein were behind and I wanted them to have a phone. Why was he doing that? He was trying to connect with them. If he tells them to do something, do you think he will encounter any resistance from them? It will be easy for them because there is rapport, there is connection. In most of our homes, we don't connect with our children. We talk down at them. We don't do any of those things. When we want to pass important information to them, it's easy for the children to trash it. They waste all our valuable information and then we're not able to influence them. If we want to influence the children, we must be willing to connect with them. We must be willing to come to them as they are. We need to remember when we were children like them, what were the things that worked for us? How did we want to be related with? When we take our mind back to those moments, it will be easy for us in that moment. Remember that some of us, our ages are like times 3, 4 of those children. Yet we want them to be super champions and behave at our level. No. They can only model after our example, and we have to do this. Then we need to be positive. You know, there is most of the time we see what is going on as you know, it's all about the rule. Don't. So even before you say it, what happens? The children have already turned up, and as you even know, when don't is like an embedded command. When you're telling a child don't, the don't is like, you know, killed. What they hear is the next thing. So you want to say don't run. What you see the next minute? You see the child running. Can you be more positive and express what exactly you want? Run, don't walk. Don't break the plate. Can you hold it with your 2 hands or something? Be specific and positive in the information you're giving. You know, all of those things comes with a lot of practice. I remember a while ago when my children were on holidays. I have 5 of them, mashallah. And in my home, they really sleep at 10 p.m. 4 of them are in boarding school, so when they come home, of course, naturally they want to like unwind and stuff. And then on this particular day, I was like, okay, you guys, you know, we have to go back to our room. And then I woke up in the early hours of the morning, and for some reason I just walked into my boy's room. And to my utter amazement, he was in front of a laptop watching a movie. I was surprised, and I was angered, and I was like, okay, you know what, just bring the laptop to my room. Use the opportunity to do Nawafil, and then after Salah, you and your siblings meet me in my room, and we sat down, we had a discussion. And I was like, look, this is a problem. I'm having a huge problem in this house. When I go into my room at so time, and I expect that all of you have done the same, I see that it's not happening. What exactly is going on here? And my son said to me, he was 15 at the time, and he said to me, you know what? The best holiday I've had in my life was when you and my dad were not around, and we had to stay in my uncle's place. I watched all the movies I wanted to watch. Before that time, when I'm in school and my friends are talking movies, all I do is to look from one person's mouth to the other. But after that midterm, oh my God, I could talk about the movies. And my daughter went, well, our friends, when their parents are going, they switch off the data, they only have access to the data in the evenings. So we want to chat with them, and it's only in the evenings we have opportunity. And all of them went on, you know, talking one after the other. And for me, it was a great feedback. So I said to them, okay. And my son said something. He said, look, some of these movies we want to watch, when we're trying to download them during the day, it takes like 7 hours. The internet is slow. But in the night, it's just 45 minutes. I said, wow, great information. So I said to them, okay, so how do we do this? Look, my problem is this. Fajr is important. I don't know. I don't want to have to wake you up for Fajr and then you're not getting up. I'll feel like I'm failing as a parent. So Fajr time is very important to me. And there is no way. Prophet Sallam said what? He disliked to talk after Isha prayer. So there is no way you can be sleeping at 12, 2, 1, and then it's time for Fajr, you wake up. Even someone that has had a good night's rest, at times Fajr is a struggle. But Prophet Sallam said it, that what does Shaitan do? He knocks us down in the night. So it's a big struggle. Now, when you deny yourself of this night rest you need, you're not making it easier. So after all the pros and cons, we agreed on some things. One, okay, you want to download, you can download. Our person will also donate my laptop to you. I asked, what kind of movies are you watching? And they told me, I'm not a movie person, so they educated me about it. Okay, fine. I told them, look, as a family and as a Muslims, these are the guidelines, these kind of things, my fare is the internet, is the big good, it has the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you're like, oh, mommy, we know all of those things, all the programs we've attended, all the dates we do, we know. These things we're watching, they're not there. I said, then at times, I gave them an example of myself. I said, when I got my new phone and I downloaded an app, each time I went on it, it will tell me something about dating, something about, it was really not very clean. But because I never went there, after a time, a wife started bringing me, want to study abroad, universities and stuff. So I said to them, at times, don't go to all these negative sites, but it brings them to you. And out of curiosity, may just decide to click. The more you click, the more those kind of things will be coming. But because I refused to click, it started bringing me school, education, learning, and probably somehow he would figure out the kind of information that would interest me. And we're like, no, mommy, don't worry. We know we know we'll choose right. I said, well, admission profit is a believer. We need to keep on reminding ourselves. And we agreed that, okay, you will download your films in the night. I will even give you my own laptop to do that. However, we'll have some agreed time during the day so that you can watch the movies. And by the way, how many movies are we talking about? They told me there were about 6 or 7. We had a routine to watch it. They were happy. I was happy. Now you can imagine if I hadn't listened and I just said, okay, you're not sleeping, you're not doing it, I see the laptops. Am I at home 24/7? No. What will happen? They'll probably go to neighbors' house and still do what they wanted to do or something, and then I will never be able to influence the decision, the kind of movies they watch and everything. So the place of rapport is very important. The feedbacks are very important. Otherwise, we'll be encountering a kind of conscious resistance from our children. They will not want to listen to what we're saying, no matter how positive the message is. We need to go back and build a relationship. When there's relationship, there's influence. There's influence, we can pick, help them to decide and pick right, irrespective of the situations they face in their life. When some of us already have them as teenagers, they can feel free to come to you, mommy. There's somebody I have a crush on or whatever. You can re-educate them. My daughter once told me, she said, after she had told me about someone that she was feeling some emotional connection with, and I was able to re-educate her. Then when we met again, I said, how is this? And she told me, said, oh, my friend said you don't discuss that kind of things with your mom. Oh, mom, I said, no, you have to discuss with me because I'm the right person that can give you the right information and the right guidance. And alhamdulillah, she keeps coming back and saying, mommy, I know you will understand. If I don't understand, how am I going to be able to point her in the right direction? So my dear fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, these are things that are not easy, but they are doable. We weren't brought up being able to talk and communicate with our children, but in those days, we had just maybe the community and a parent's voice. Today, there's a lot competing with that voice with us. We have the social media, we have the so many voices. When they hear those voices, what do we want? We want our own voice to drown the voices of all those others. We want our own voice and what we want for them, what we've asked them to do, to be the one that will lead them and guide them. If we're not patient, if we're not listening, if we're not connecting, there is no way we're going to be able to do that. So please, when we go back home, let us reconnect, establish that relationship. Listen, understand their big why. When we know the why, then we'll be able to model them in the right place. And another thing is they need to have the right role models. We need to ask them. We need to make it a conscious effort. One of the things I do in my home is when we're driving out in the morning to school, we all know the early morning rush. So we get a book, and there's so many of them now. 365 days with the Prophet, 365 days with the Sahaba. Even if it's just one a day, it goes a long way. Take turns, let the children read, let them share it. And if your children are still so little that they can't read, take the lead, read to them. You're building in them a lifelong love for learning and something that they will carry far into their adult life. Those are the things that will influence them, that will help them in their decision making. And inshallah, when we look back, we'll have every reason to say, yes, it was well worth it and we're able to impact them. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.